You couldn't really make this sort of thing up. I mean, it's incredible when you think. It springs to mind of Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello, the sort of thing that they may be given to task and then make a complete holics over it, even though this was one of the biggest and most, well, expensive visits of recent times. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time today. And as ever, welcome one and all. The sort of thing, I don't know if you find this in your part of the world, but now we have councils over here in the United Kingdom that are going bankrupt at the rate of knots. This is because they are people that don't know how to manage money. Suddenly they're given thousands of pounds and they think, let's build a rainbow zebra crossing. Meanwhile, there's potholes all around and sinkholes everywhere, But of course, they decide where the money goes. It's not their money and they decide exactly what they think best to do. You can imagine, of course, that a lot of detail would have gone into the official state visit, the second state visit of the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Now, as we know, Mr. Trump, a huge fan of the United Kingdom, and we're grateful of that. But just think about the logistics. You see, earlier this year, we had President Macron, and that visit, the state visit of Macron, was seen as a sort of tester to what could happen, particularly in Windsor, when President Trump arrived only last month. Well, it was a great success, as you can imagine. Princess Catherine delighted in his company and got on incredibly well with the First Lady, Melania Trump. Plus, we got to show, as I mentioned at the time, our wonderful country off to the rest of the world. The pageantry, the military, the pomp and circumstance, it all looks good on the big screen and, fingers crossed, will help us sell it as a tourist brand moving forward. Well, unless you see scenes like this that have developed recently. Of course, a terrible situation at the Manchester synagogue, and our prayers go out to all of them. But what's interesting is this. When you walk down the Mall or something like that and you see these particular areas and you look at the splendid flags that were up there to celebrate the arrival of our best friend in the United States of America, you would have thought they'd have got it right. Well, no. Let me explain. Hi, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time, as I say, and welcome one and all. What's interesting, as I say, when you go up and down the Mall, I don't know about you if you've been there, but when you walk around when all the flags are still out, it is a sight to behold to see our wonderful British flag billowing in the wind, and so many of them. It does make you proud of your country and proud to be British, without a doubt. Now, as you can see from this particular picture, right, they had the Stars and Stripes, the United States flag, put up in the honour of the royal visit and, of course, the second state visit of President Trump. However, there was a problem. And this is why I allude back to the fact that it's Laurel and Hardy. You can imagine Stan and Ollie doing this, couldn't you? And of course, Abbott and Costello, Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin being enticed with the idea of getting the flags. Well, apparently they had to strip all the flags down, and they were £800 a flag because the wrong red was in the flag. I mean, you could not make this up, right? So that apparently cost around about £50,000, and people are up in arms over this. Now, my sort of take on this is, well, first and foremost, who are the council responsible for issuing that and the company that put the flags together? Well, Westminster Council is the council responsible. That is the Labour-run council, currently headed up by the Labour government over here in the United Kingdom. And apparently they didn't see anything wrong with the flags. Some people might suggest the recent debacle for President Trump and the escalator scenario, was this a deliberate sabotage? Let's not forget that the Mayor of London is also a Labour councillor. You get the picture. But either way, they had to take them down, apparently, put fresh flags up so that it wasn't a political, if not just a monumental embarrassment. Now, I don't know about you, but as I said at the start of the video, you have really one job, and one job is to get the flag right. And not only that, according to a source, many of the Union Jack flags, the British flags, had to be rehosed simply because they put them up the wrong way. Now, how many mistakes do you need to get before, if you're running a council, you really have to prove just how inept you truly are? And when you think about the cost, they say £50,000. What is £50,000 against the billions we're giving away every single year to people that are invading the country illegally? Work that one out. Neil Sean in the very heart of the United Kingdom.